It's not unfair to speculate that online trolls are sadistic psychopaths. It's something that we all probably already knew. However, now we have some science to back it up. And some Canadian researchers did a survey of a representative sample, and they found out that, hey, you know what? It turns out that these people actually are pretty sadistic. Now, let me read you what the study found exactly. The online survey by a group of Canadian researchers suggests that internet trolls are more likely than others to show signs of sadism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism, a disregard for morality, and tendency to manipulate or exploit others. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar of what an online troll is, it's usually a person who will say something so unbelievably outlandish that, of course, they either don't believe it, but they're doing it to get a rise out of the person that they're targeting. And they will succeed if the person responds in some way, usually in an angry way.
And hence the mantra online is don't feed the trolls, right? Now, I'm, I guess, a little surprised by this. I mean, you would think this would be the most unsurprising thing. But I mean, I always thought that the trolls were just playing bus nuts.
No.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not as bothered by the trolls as
You
others.
play bus nuts, right? But
Right.
would you ever go out of your way to go onto any YouTube video or whatever and say something so unbelievably hideous that, I mean, like,
Of course not.
No,
Of course
because
not.
you're a normal human being, right? Who lives a normal life.
No, but I always assumed that there were 17-year-olds giggling at home, typing up this stuff. And when somebody reacted, they were like, they were basically like, right?
Right. I'm sure some of them are, but I think that it says something about you if you spend your time, and think about how precious that resource is, right? You spend your time commenting on things just to get a rise out of someone, just to make someone's day a little more difficult.
But you have to also remember that time is not that precious to a lot of people, right? They got all the time in the world. They're sitting there and they just want to amuse themselves. But look, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not overly surprised. If you're spending a lot of time doing this and saying the most vicious things, and then when somebody gets upset, you get a thrill out of that, yeah, I can see how you might be kind of into sadism, or psychotic seems a little much, okay? And Machiavellian gives him a little too much credit, if you ask me.
Yeah, Machiavellian definitely does. But let me give you a little more of the study. So as Cenk mentioned, you know, the psychopath element of it exists, but sadism is definitely something that's more relevant to this topic. It was sadism, however, that had the most robust associations with trolling of any of the personality measures. In fact, the associations between sadism and scores were so strong that it might be said that online trolls are prototypical everyday sadists. Damn.
Okay, you love this because
I fucking love this story. Love it. What? Anyway.
Well, you're definitely going to get some trolling now.
Fuck it. So here's some more.
Man, so this is cathartic for you. Okay, all right, go ahead.
All right.
Regulate.
So anyway, let me tell you exactly how they did the study and what kind of questions they asked. So the questions asked to determine sadistic tendencies included: I enjoy physically hurting people, I enjoy making jokes at the expense of others, and I enjoy playing the villain in games and torturing other characters.
Okay, now I'm scared.
Thank you.
That's a little way, not a little, way over the line. Okay, so if that's really the characteristics they have, ooh, yeah, that's bothersome. So look, to me, there's a huge difference because when I was a kid, I was a prankster. Okay, and so the person sitting next to me would be so annoyed by me because you know how you always pass down papers, you know, and I'd get the paper and I'd put it there, and as she was about to grab it, whoop, whoop. Okay, and she'd constantly be missing, and she would despise me. So it was a troll 1.0 in that sense. The flip side is, if anybody picked on somebody who was weak and made fun of them, oh, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this or that, I hated that.
Yeah.
And I was the first person to step up and defend him, partly because I wanted to fight, and it gave me a good excuse to, right? So I think there's a giant difference between being playful and you know, ribbing people and like enjoying the pain of others.
Yeah, so let me talk about it as someone on the receiving end of the trolling on a constant basis, or a continuous basis. I mean, if you're going to put yourself out there on the internet, it's just the name of the game. You have to deal with it, right? You got to have thicker skin, find ways to cope with it, don't read it. And also, knowing that these people are doing it just because they want to rise out of you makes you realize that whatever it is that they're saying is totally irrelevant and usually has no credibility. But the thing about it that sucks, right, is that oftentimes we get YouTube comments that are great and they're critical, but they're constructive in their criticisms. And I love those comments because those are the kinds of comments that help you improve in what you're doing. And it sucks that those types of comments get totally hidden or buried under all the bullshit that people write. And now it's kind of gotten to a point where I don't read anything at all because I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I just dismiss it out of hand. And this study will help you dismiss it even better because then you're like, oh, well, they got a mental problem. So that's their problem. That's not my problem. Whatever they write is not an issue for me. It's an issue for them.